Okay, so the next ingredient we have in breast milk is some salt. So the salt actually represents the minerals that are in breast milk. So there is iron in breast milk. Babies don't need any additional iron in their diet if they're getting breast milk for the first 6 months. Iron is actually lower in breast milk than it is in formula milk. Formula milk contains something like 5 to 6 times higher the concentration of iron. But actually there are a lot of bacteria that need iron to grow, and because of lactoferrin, which we spoke about earlier, the iron actually becomes really easily used by the baby. It becomes bioavailable because the lactoferrin binds with it, and the babies can use it much better, so they don't have a surplus of any iron in their system. The other minerals that are in breast milk are sodium, calcium, phosphorus and magnesium, and all those levels are ideal for a newborn baby. So the next ingredient I have is some pepper. Now pepper represents arguably, I think, one of the most amazing ingredients in breast milk, because this represents all of the antibodies. So for the first year of a baby's life, their immune system is quite underdeveloped, so all the help that they can get in developing that is really, really beneficial to them. So basically how this works, from the very first feed of colostrum, mums will be passing on what we call passive immunity to their babies. So what this basically means is any illness that they've ever had in their lifetime, their body will have produced antibodies for that, and that will be delivered to their baby. So that's unique to every single mum because they would have all had different illnesses in their lifetime. But it continues to adapt and change and develop so that it continues to protect babies. So if mum comes into contact with any new virus, either by inhaling it or by ingesting it, within 20 minutes her body will have made antibodies, even if she doesn't become ill herself. So with the virus we have going on at the moment, that's obviously a really beneficial effect of giving babies some breast milk. But also if the baby were to come into contact with the virus, so if they inhaled the virus and the mum didn't, there is also a feedback between the baby's saliva and the mum's nipple, which works the other way. So it's absolutely quite amazing. So it's really important that we keep mums and babies together for this reason, so that protection carries on. Artificial milks contain no living cells or anti-infective properties. It's not a living complex fluid like breast milk is. So the next ingredient I'm going to put in is some Baby Bio. So what that represents, Baby Bio helps plants to grow, and that represents the epidermal growth factor in the breast milk. So what this does is it stimulates the growth of the intestinal villi, so that's all the little things that coat the baby's intestines, and it helps them to become more resistant to large molecules passing through the gut wall into the bloodstream. So this is what we believe protects the baby from intolerances later in life. So that's quite a beneficial ingredient too. So the next ingredient I have is some coriander. So the reason we put some coriander in is because basically breastfed babies get exposed to different flavours. So formula milk is the same flavour all of the time. So if you eat a wide range of different foods, you could argue that hopefully your baby is going to be less fussy when they're weaned, and because they've been used to different flavours. So the last ingredient I've got in is I've got some lovely glitter here. So the glitter represents everything else that's wonderful in breast milk. So we have antioxidants, we have prebiotics, we have enzymes that help digestion, we have nucleotides or stem cells. These are the building blocks of DNA, and these actually may enhance the leukocyte maturation, which will help babies recover from illness and injury. So that's really beneficial ingredient. Another ingredient is viral fragments. So what these do is they actually help babies to fight viruses, and they actually help babies with to cope with those first set of immunisations that they have. So these are all the ingredients in the breast milk. I'm going to give it a little mix. And what I'm trying to show you with my glasses here at the end and my sponge is actually how milk travels through the breast. So we all know that colostrum in the first few days is thick and sticky. It is kind of packed full of all these ingredients, and I would describe colostrum as like the orange squash. And when the mature milk comes in, there's just lots more water added to it, so it's just diluting that orange squash. But this is giving you a representation of what the milk is like when it comes in through the breast. So when a baby first goes on the breast, the milk that flows out the breast first of all is quite watery, and it flows out quite quickly. So when baby first goes on, this is when you'll notice them do most of the drinking.
This is low battery, close.
Don't worry, just press it.
Press
And then
what?
just press the screen.
Close.
And then the next ingredient, as the feed goes on, it becomes a bit more fat rich. So you can see in the glass there's a bit more fat on top of that. And then right at the end, when they're doing all that lovely flutter sucking, where we think that they're being lazy, is when they're getting all this really lovely fat rich milk at the end. So you can see it's quite watery to begin with, a little bit more fat concentration, and then really fatty at the end. Now, depending on how hard I squeeze the sponge, or how many glasses I've got there, that will always be slightly different if I do this demonstration again. But hopefully that's explained to you what the breast milk is coming through the breast to the baby, and the ingredients that are in it. Thank you for watching.